call it him of that way of life. We don't do them no more. It's a lot of work.
20 years ago, maybe, word went out and asked the districts who would like to provide a space for a museum. District council, if we go back and read some of the history that's gone on in Indian nations, you know, a church came in and converted a lot of people, and in some cases forced, you know, people to conform to that religion. When I was growing up, it was an unsaid thing that someday I was going to take care of my grandparents, my parents. It was never written. I never signed a contract. It was just an understood thing that was what was going to happen. And I did.
Community food systems, and we were fortunate enough to get some funding and be able to work with people from the plains, and also beautiful mountains, from North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, and for a while Virginia. And so those fellows came together over 2 years. We had to Zoom, we had to have our monthly meetings online, and everybody managed, even though a lot of us are in areas where our internet service or our cell service is iffy and temporary, but it was really amazing how many times the internet, whatever it is, smiled on us so that we could actually be together. And we just really honor the work and the commitment of all of the fellows of Wilkes-Barre, and I don't want to take too much time, but I would like to just ask all of you who were part of our program to please stand. And we'll all be on panels and introduce each other fully later, and that includes you. So Wilkes-Barre was a fellowship program, so over the 2 years, many people, many Native food mavens and community builders came together to talk with and teach and learn from us as well. And so that's Wilkes-Barre.
Like 10 buffalo, so I bought 10 buffalo, 10 bulls, and then I set this program up that allowed a 13 to 18-year-old young man to come in and kill a buffalo and earn his first step into manhood. And so what I did then is set this program up, allowed them to kill their first buffalo, keep the head and the hide, and then we all gave him paint and we sent that buffalo on his way along with that young man. And then at the same time I gave him a knife, and it was just such a great honor to bring these young men into that world.
We work and we started our farm called Kaij Ki Farms, and that is a farm that we started here where my dad grew up and where, again, I'm from.
As time progressed, my grandparents passed away, and it was left to my grandma and my dad. And my dad wanted to farm out here because way back, you know, all these villages out here used to have all their own private farms, and that's how they survived. They used to grow their own produce and all that, and that's how they fed the people.
I've been with NRCS for like going on 20 years, different careers that I did before I joined NRCS. You know, there was I kind of heard people from other areas, and I always remember this one, he's probably elderly now, maybe he's not, Ross Racine, he's from Montana. and he was with, I think it was ITCA or ICA, one of them, all these acronyms that are out there. And he really spoke highly of all the government programs, and he was kind of like bothered. So I need help. I need you guys to come forward and start asking our Congress group, our senators for money for all these programs that we don't have on the tribal nations. So I always remember him talking about
I started a garden this year at my uncle's house, and I'm glad to go out there and pick a tomato or pull corn, and just knowing that we planted at the beginning of the year, and now I get to enjoy harvesting it and eating it. And we did it. My nieces, my girlfriend, all my nieces, nephews, whoever comes over, they all participated. And that's what I'm trying to teach them, is to not rely on grocery stores or anything. You need to rely on yourself and what you can grow, and you have it. You always have it. No matter if everything gets bad out there in the world, you can produce food and you can survive and keep going. That's how whatever it was.
I hear it referred to as bougie. That's a way of eating. And I say, no, we're the original eaters of that way. Eat from the land.
That I had 10 years experience, at least in regards to community representation from my community in particular of cells. I'm really, really grateful to be here to offer whatever I can as much as I have.
And it was always kind of met with some resistance. To be honest, the feedback that we would get when we would ask these questions was, well, you're not going to take care of them. We're scared to give it to you because what if you don't take care of it and then it's lost, which, if we were, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, I would understand that, but we're not there anymore. We are a different community, and we have grown new farmers, and we have, a vision, and we relearned these things.
We went through and we got to work together and have a lot of fun in the kitchen. Obviously the kitchen, it's a place that it really lets people go through and fill each other. We get to fill the food, we get to go through and we get to let our passions really show through what we make. That's why we take pride in everything that we do.
But there's a lot of emotion in the work that we do, and thank you for welcoming me into this space where we can have these conversations.
Into the kitchen and it's time for lunch.
You mean supper?
For me, I'm able to create and to put that into these ingredients and to appreciate it. I was saying, I brought this wild rice that we ate today that my friend had hand harvested, and I was so excited because it was like green wild rice, and it's really tough to get a hold of. And I brought it thinking that I wanted to share this experience with his family and bring those prayers with also to support the work that's being done at home and to celebrate what I had to, one of my prized possessions, what these people keep. And I had talked to Cody about it beforehand because he said, you know, we were really, I mean, I was going to come on my own anyway, just so that I could spend time with Loretta. Because, like I said, she overcame things so that we wouldn't have to. I mean, these relationships, there's family that you can choose, you know, that you were meant to have as part of your life. So when I was able to come and, as Cody had mentioned, you know, represent the legacy that she has started in place, I said, I don't know how much better I could do that than by just showing up and cooking the way she showed me how. Absolutely, Loretta. So
I hadn't gotten to go back to my roots. I hadn't gotten to work with indigenous crops that have been in our culture for years, and going through and remembering the foods that my aunts made, my uncles made, you know, that the families made together, and seeing that culture coming together and everybody standing behind each other and building each other up. And as Elena said, there's so many boundaries out there. Women in kitchens it's always been something that it was a pet peeve, but honestly, I love to build somebody up. Our cafe staff right now is actually, I'm the only male on our cafe staff, and I love to see them putting that love that they have. It's like I tell them, make it look beautiful, make it look sexy, enjoy what you do, and that's where they make their food and how they feel.